I just came up on my YouTube channel's 1-year birthday. Last week, I just passed my 250th subscriber, so thank you all for subscribing. And not only that, within the next couple of days, I crossed 260. So I am just so excited to be sharing some travel, some tech with all of you. I know that 260 some odd subscribers is not that many to a lot of people, but for me, that was my entire goal for the year. My goal at the beginning of the year was just to get to 250 subscribers. And to know that here at the end of May, I'm already there is kind of crazy. And it's all because of you guys. It just gets me really excited about what's to come. But I guess, like, more importantly, why do I do what I do? Why am I posting videos to YouTube? What are some of the things that I'm struggling with? And what do I hope to achieve through the remainder of 2024 and into 2025? So some of the great things about YouTube that I personally love, I think it pushes me outside of my comfort zone. It's uncomfortable to just sit here and talk to a camera, to an inanimate object. But I guess what I do when I'm talking to this camera is I imagine I'm talking to a group of people. And actually, this is gonna sound weird, but COVID kind of helped all of this because since working remotely for the last 4 years, I've been talking into a camera. And I've trained myself to look into the camera lens so that whoever I'm talking to on the other side of the screen thinks that I'm looking at them. That being said, it's still uncomfortable to sit here and record myself talking, and it's almost cringeworthy to go back and edit and see all the times that I messed up and have to cut it all up. It can be a little bit rough. It's hard to watch take after embarrassing take of me messing up the delivery of some line. I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. If you feel the same way, put it down in the comments because it can be a tough thing to overcome. Something that I heard recently is that you really get to know yourself when you get out of your comfort zone. And for me, trying to be creative and trying to put myself out there like this, that's just definitely outside of my comfort zone. But that being said, for as long as I can remember, I've always had a camera in my hand. I was making an Indiana Jones movie in 2nd grade, documenting family trips while we were, going to Yellowstone or whatever. And I even tried to substitute speeches for school projects with videos. I was usually the one behind the camera and I rarely turned that camera around. I can think of this one clip in particular from when I went to Ireland, and I turned the camera around and I'm looking at it, I'm going, should I smile? Like, what do I do here? And it was so awkward. It was so awkward. So that being said, this is totally out of my comfort zone. That actually makes me think of something else. I would remember being at this school event where I'm filming everybody having lunch or something. I was just getting a shot of the room and one of the guys that was sitting nearby goes, "You
filming again?"
Yeah.
You look really dorky when you film everything.
And this was like 2009. Smartphones hadn't really come out yet. Filming everything was kind of novel. That stuck with me and it kept me from posting to YouTube. And what's most disappointing about that to me is that I let that throwaway comment from somebody I didn't care about, I don't talk to, and that he probably doesn't even remember saying something about that. I let that throw me off of one of my biggest interests, something that I had always enjoyed. And ever since then, I've gone back and forth about whether or not I should make videos. And last year I had the opportunity to go live and work on the other side of the world, and I thought, this is my chance to really do what it is I want to do. And so I started taking videos with my phone and with some other cameras and said, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And I'm so happy I did because now I have this whole catalog of these videos to go back and watch my entire trip and slowly watch the bags under my eyes get heavier and heavier because I was more and more tired. I just want to say, if you want to become a YouTuber in 2024, don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything stop you from pursuing that dream. I want to encourage you, and I want this channel to be a place where people can come and get advice and discuss with other people who want to make videos. And I mean, all you got to do is press that record button. Seriously, all you got to do is start. And that first video that you're gonna make, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be terrible, actually. And the second one, probably also going to be bad. It's gonna be cringy. But by the third or fourth one, might be getting just a little bit better. And I mean, I remember making these videos when I was in high school where it was so bad. But by continuing to just focus on one little thing each and every time I made a video, it's gotten better. I'm not gonna say I'm good at making videos, but it's gotten better for sure. But every single one of those really, really bad, cringy videos that I've made in the past has helped me get to this point, which is with 264 subscribers on a YouTube channel. You know, I have one video that's gotten over 7,000 views. And that just blows my mind because I think about like an NBA stadium, and I think those hold like 10,000 people. I could be totally off on that. But if you just imagine, most of my videos get maybe 100 views. Imagine 100 people sitting in an audience watching your video. Like, that's crazy. That is so cool to me. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is get out there and just start making videos and publish them. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You just need to get them out there. There have been a couple of videos where I've made them and I'm just like, I could spend 40 hours trying to make this better, or I can just publish it and move on to the next one and continue to learn and grow from that video. And I think that's what you have to do with YouTube, is just, you can't delay a release of a video because it's not perfect. Because at the end of the day, people who are making videos, they're working through a creative process. And when it comes to creativity, you're always going to think there's this new tweak, there's one more thing that you can change. You just gotta get it out there and put it in front of some people and then use that to grow. All that to be said, I'm not just saying to jump in blindly. Slow down and think through the videos that you're gonna make. One big question I always ask myself is this something that people are going to search for? You gotta remember, Google owns YouTube, and Google is like the #1 search engine in the world, and YouTube is #2. So if you're not optimizing your video for something that people are looking for, they're probably not gonna see it. Now, if you're just looking to make something just because you enjoy creating something, like the true artistic pursuit of it, then don't worry about it. But if you're trying to be a YouTuber in 2024, then you gotta kind of tailor your videos to something that people are looking for. And I think some of the best advice that I've ever heard about YouTube is to answer a specific question. Like, think about last time you needed to, I don't know, change a tire. You don't know how to change a tire. Where are you going to first? You're probably going to either Google or YouTube to figure out how you change a tire. Take this video, for example. It's not a specific question that I'm answering, but it kind of is. It's answering a specific question for creators. And so the title of this video is going to be like, how YouTube changed my life with less than 500 subscribers. And my hope with this video is that when it's released, I can study some of the YouTube trends and this video gets picked up by the algorithm and gets pushed to more like-minded people who are looking to celebrate their small wins and continue growing this crazy journey of YouTube. And I'm just hoping that my videos get pushed to this broader audience of people who are into filmmaking and interested in traveling and exploring the world and, you know, camera gear to document the travels, and if interested in what it's like to start a YouTube channel in your mid-30s. God, that makes me sound old. So I guess that's some of my thoughts on what's so great about YouTube, is that it's an inspiring place where people can come together and talk about the things that they're all interested in. Plus, it really forces me to be outside of my comfort zone and think creatively, and to make some plans for some of these videos where, previously I might have just, held my camera and pointed it all over the place. But now I try and think of what is the question I'm actually answering? How is the best way to answer that question? What might people be interested in learning? And yeah, I feel like I do have a lot of creativity and have a lot to contribute. And it would be a shame for people to miss out on some of my great ideas. I think they're great ideas. And I wouldn't want to deprive the world of my amazing filmmaking skills, right? But for real, if you don't share your creativity, then the world's missing out on a big piece of you. So I just encourage you to go out there and start, just press record, think through your ideas, and come up with something great, because you never know what might happen. If this video helps just one person, then it'll feel like a massive success. And if that's you, then I want to know. Put it down in the comments below and say, hey Spence, you've inspired me to go make a video, and I want to follow along on your journey. Because at the end of the day, the world is a more interesting place if people share their true selves and push their horizons to their limits. At the end of the day, the world needs more of you. Now, the next point is kind of cliche, and it's probably what you've heard from a million creators about finding a niche. You gotta niche down, you gotta find your niche and really get into it. I don't necessarily agree with that. Instead, you should just focus on sharing your passion, because if you share your passion, that's what really comes out in a video. People are naturally drawn to authenticity. And since we're talking about making videos all the time, and if you're the person in front of the camera, people are going to know if you're not being authentic. It ends up showing up, in the way you talk or the way that you act. And you can't keep up a facade if you're posting 1 or 2 videos every single week for a year. People are gonna see through that. So if you're on board with all of that and jumping into YouTube, I think there are a lot of really exciting and big opportunities. And no, I'm not talking about getting rich and famous and having 200 million subscribers like Mr. Beast. Although that would be cool, that's a select few. I'm just talking about the opportunities that come with practicing a skill, the discipline of planning, just discipline, period, to sit down and work on something, learning this whole new skill of editing, shooting, posting a video, figuring out what might be interesting to the people who are watching your videos, the courage to put yourself out there in the world. And one of the most important skills that I think you can learn from YouTube is the art of storytelling. I talk about this a lot at work with, all of my coworkers, and the hardest thing for anybody, in whether that be a sales job or marketing or even in an executive, you have to tell a compelling story. And that's hard. If you're just telling a story about, I went to the grocery store and, I picked up some bread and then I came home. That's boring. You can make the most mundane things into a fascinating experience. I was driving to the store and there was the most beautiful sunset. The oranges and purples and greens were just popping out of the sky. And you'll never guess what happened next, because I rear-ended somebody as I was pulling into the grocery store. That didn't really happen to me. But that being said, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to every story, and to be able to tell that story in a way that people actually want to listen to, that's a hard thing to do. So by practicing that craft frequently through film and video, that's how to get your point across, how to wrap things up in a tidy little bow, and being able to communicate your story or your thinking. That's more important than money or fame. But to be fair, Mr. Beast is pretty good at storytelling. Now, YouTube is challenging. Whether you're just getting started or you've been doing this a while, it can still be really tough. Like, I get so in my head sometimes that it can be really hard to just press that record button. And if you're having trouble pressing record, then I just encourage you to just set up your phone and press record and talk and talk and talk until you have something to say or something that is good enough to be watched by at least one other person. And if you've done that, then you've done your job. Because the next video that you do will get a little bit better. And the next one after that will be just a little bit better than the one before. Once you've said all that you have to say, you can cut it up into a million little pieces and edit like crazy until you have something you're happy with. 1, 2, 3 years down the line, you're going to look back at how far you've come and just be amazed. But if you don't start today, you can't look back in 3 years from now and be excited about how far you've come. And I just want to encourage you all, if you've made it this far in the video, that you can do this. Go for it and set up that channel. Figure out topics that you're passionate about and figure out how to make thumbnails and compelling titles and figure out what doesn't work. Just go for it. So anyway, if you've learned anything from this video, I'm only going to ask 2 simple, free things from you. I'm going to ask that you hit that like button and that subscribe button. And I want to share why that's important. The more people that like these videos, the more people that subscribe, that means more videos I can make and the more time I can spend trying to figure out this whole YouTube DNA algorithm thing, and I want to share it with all of you. And that's all I ask of you. Thanks for watching, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.